right, good evening. Here we are again, basement of Coach Keefer's house. Another episode of Keefer's Korner. First question is always the same, Coach. How we doing?
Doing all right.
Good. So last week saw us take a different road, different path, if you will. We were at Kingfield for 2 straight weeks. Now we jump on a bus, head east down to Altoona. I think the first time in 6-8 years or something like that it's been. I was kind of curious. I'm like, why had not been there before? I'm like, 2 years ago, Rice Lake. So this is only the second year of Altoona.
Mm-hmm.
So we headed to Altoona for what we knew was going to be our biggest test, a huge conference game. And let's talk first half first. Let's break it down in halves. First half, your thoughts on the first half? I believe we got the opening kickoff. Nice kick return by Dane. And then first play, Dane, touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
They march back, lengthy drive, answer, touchdown, 8-6. But go to half, I think we're 15-6, I believe, at halftime.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk first half. Thoughts on the first half breakdown?
Well, obviously it's a great start when you can, I believe Altoona won the toss and they deferred. And thus we took the ball, and you have a good kickoff return as you stated, and then we ran played a Dane Vienendahl, and he was I think he was untouched out the gate right off the bat, which was great. Also a fast start, got the 2-point, but then a little bit of a harbinger of things to come. We didn't exactly play very good run defense. We had some breakdowns, and it was disappointing, right? But I will say this, you couldn't have a better thing happen to our team than to go through a pressure-filled game. We made plenty of mistakes, right? But, being in the pressure cooker and I just think there are so many things that we have an opportunity to get better at. And a lot of those things, believe it or not, will translate directly to our next opponent, which we'll talk about, is Osceola, because they're also an option team and they have some similarities. So I think it's somewhat good fortune for us that we get to see a similar type thing 2 weeks in a row. Really, the first half defensively was not terrible. You know what I mean? We gave up 6 points. They're a good team. They have some good weapons. I felt actually pretty good. They defended us fairly well. I always felt like we were moving the ball, but I guess we only had 2 scores at that point. Well, then you get to the second half, and man, it was a crazy game. I mean, I felt like there were a couple different times. I believe we scored first in the second half. And there were 2 different times, if I'm not mistaken, where we were up two scores.
I want to stop.
Oh, maybe they
took a kickoff.
They did. That's right.
And made it a 1-point game.
There you go.
And then we marched quickly.
I think we scored 2 consecutive then, because then we were up by 2 touchdowns, scores. And then they cut it to 1. Then we went back up by 2, and both of those times I felt like we were like one stop away from like putting the hammer down and let's end this thing. But to Altoona's credit, they just kept coming back. I thought they played really good football. I was not at all surprised about their weapons. I mean, I sat here a week ago telling you that, listing off all these different kids. Well, I found out, I mentioned there was a kid that at Amory is number 24. Well, number 0 forgot his dang jersey. So his 0 was wearing 24 in the Amory game, and I just found that out after the game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I was like, how the heck can they not be playing that 24, not knowing it was, But anyway, no, it was just crazy. But we just couldn't quite put the knockout punch. And then we gave up a long touchdown, which you hate to have that happen because that's an easy one. And we just weren't able to pull away. And then obviously they took the lead late, and son of a gun, we had to go whatever it was. I mean, we had to go. I think we started at I can't remember.
30?
I would say it was.
They kind of after the first two kickoffs.
Yeah, they had really good. Yeah, I think it was more than 30.
I want to say that was like for some reason
they kicked away from him. Yeah,
and it was like our worst field position starting. I want to say because of,
I thought so too.
Kind of like a high hop that went off of our up guy, and we got to 30, and which I think it seems notorious the last couple of weeks. Brody Everts has been, I'm not going to say like away from the passing game, but he comes up with the big play. It was the big touchdown catch in the first half or start the second half, third quarter. And then it was on that last drive.
Yeah, that was great.
We had a big catch.
And that play call, I looked on my, we were doing our band thing, to try to conserve time, and I saw the play, and I called out the play number, and I looked a little closer at it. I was like, shoot, we're on our left hash, and we're rolling into the boundary, so it's not ideal. And you could see Brody like on film, right? He's running this route, and he's supposed to look at the safety, so he starts with one angle, the safety adjusts. Brody adjusts again to another angle. The safety looks again, and then Brody made a third adjustment, and the kid completely lost him, and that's how he got so open. And Joe was under a lot of duress. I mean, there was some good. They were bringing gas, and that doggone ball when it came out, it wasn't the prettiest ball he's ever thrown. That dang thing almost looked like it came out sideways, but he got it on the spot. Brody catches it, and it was It was a big gain. I don't know what we got down to. Maybe we were like at the 35 or something like that. Somewhere in there. And then obviously we were hoping to score a touchdown. And then we threw a little pass to Dane on second and like 9 or 8 or something like that. And we threw a little thing to the right to Dane, and Dane caught it, and he ran out of bounds. And I think he was, in his mind, at this point, I think we still had a couple timeouts left, and there were still, 90 seconds left. We had plenty of time for where we were at on the field, and I wish he would have maybe got the first down instead of going out of bounds, because I think he certainly could have, and I almost think because he had a blocker in front of him, I think he almost could have cut back, and he might have been able to score, but. I mean, it's hard. It's hard to criticize Dane because he played a great game. He really did.
And that's what. So I said at the time, I'm like, "Ooh, I wish Dane would kind of cut that up." Like, that's a good time. And Nygaard made a comment about, well, he's got X amount of carries, X amount of catches. He's played every down on defense. He's played great. He's doing this. I'm like, yeah. So it's not like you're going, "Oh, what were you thinking?" Yeah.
And then we weren't able to get it on 3rd and 2, and then we got down to the 16-yard line, and we're on the left hash, and God dang Mason Flores. I mean, that's such a big deal, and I'm happy for the kid, happy for the team. Obviously, great that we can win the game when we really played awfully on defense. I mean, that was I would say that we probably made more mistakes defensively in that game than we did in the 6 games collectively. But a lot of them were repeated mistakes, and I do feel like we're going to be a lot better prepared moving forward. And this is a good wake-up call for our team. It's just luckily we didn't have to endure loss, but I really think you're going to have a unbelievable sense of urgency from our kids this week, and it's going to be another great test. But I'm just real fortunate because that we got to go through this, because being in the pressure cooker like that and then coming from behind, I think all those things are really, really impressive, and they're hopefully signs of things to come.
And defensively, I'll say, like, your best player might be a defensive lineman, might be a cornerback, might be a safety, but bottom line, the quarterback of the defense, any defense is always, or 99% of the time, seems to be the middle linebacker,
Mm-hmm.
And we were dealing with a new one.
Yep.
Not to say anything about the play of the middle linebacker or linebacker spot, but that just kind of shows how much we missed the senior leadership of Gordon, how well he played.
Yeah.
The first 6 games.
Yeah, I would absolutely echo that I thought Trent was playing at like an all-conference level. And now the kids that we have playing in there, the kid that was the replacement, Ryan Aho. Ryan Aho is his ceiling is crazy. I mean, he's a big, smart, athletic kid that's going to get nothing but better. It takes time, and people don't understand, that it takes time, but it does. You can't just pop anybody in there and just hope that it's going to, we're going to change this kid from here to there and it's going to, it just doesn't work that way. Like if you're a football person, you understand how many weeks of training a guy has had, and to get to where they're at. So it's very difficult if you're going to try to play hey, we're going to throw new people in here. And, we have people where they are for a reason. And we got all the confidence in the world in those guys that we're going to be just fine.
So a couple of questions. One, how much does prior plays throughout the game? I feel like we kind of struggled on 4th and short. We had a few 4th and shorts where we didn't gain it. How much is that playing into your factor on that last possession? We have, I think it's 4th and 1, 4th and 2.
I think it was 4th and 2.
And I do feel like we've had
or maybe it's 4th and 3. I don't know.
This is 4th and a couple.
Yeah.
But you've never been shy to go for a 4th and a couple before. Yeah. But obviously it's different when you have an opportunity, when we got this trust in this kicker that can make this field goal.
I really believed that Mason was going to make the kick. I really did. I thought he was going to make it. He's got a great leg. He doesn't have a ton of experience, obviously, but he clutched it up. And when he first hit it, I looked at it. I was like, "Oh, that's going to be all right." And then the closer it got, I was like, I mean, and I also noticed that thing was spinning too fast, because if you hit the bottom of the ball, it rotates a little. He didn't hit it clean because he's got a crazy leg. But you know what? The great thing was we got down to the 16. Because if we got down to 17, we wouldn't have won the dang game. That's a fact. Because it hit the crossbar, like in the corner there, which that's crazy.
It was good about 3 yards in, and it was good from that distance. I made the comment about how sometimes you see on NFL, like it was good from X amount of yards. I'm like, yeah, that was good from that distance.
Literally,
not a yard farther.
You could argue 6 inches difference.
Yeah,
would have, not even a full yard, but what a cool thing, like I go back in time. I think the last time we had one was Robert Crowley made one at New Richmond. We were in a dogfight with them. It was 7-6, and Crowley makes like a 40-yarder, like literally to win it right at the. It's same scenario, but that was how many years ago? Like I can't even tell you what year that was. Maybe like 17, maybe. I don't know.
I think of like Columbus at the end of the half.
Oh, that
Davis. Obviously, I mean, it didn't matter as much, but you line up, they're like, okay, they're not actually kicking this,
right?
And you're dealing with the number 1 team in the state, and you made that to go to halftime, and they're like, we have a game here now. But as far as
there were
pressure and
there were a couple other things that we were going to try to really eliminate. We got a unsportsmanlike penalty. Like kids will talk back and forth, but what you got to understand is stuff doesn't matter. And we just got to be more poised, and we're gonna take care of that.
How about offensively? Do you script like a 15 plays? Do you have like a kind of a mindset of a couple possessions you want to see certain defenses and how they line up against different formations? Because it's been like, I want to say 3, maybe 4 weeks now where we've scored the opening drive. We've had a huge lull towards the second.
Well, I go into a game with a script, but how much I followed that script is
depending on
it. Just sometimes you can follow your script, and sometimes you can't. So I do have a script. There's some different things that I try to sequence and do maybe sometimes. I consciously try to make things so they're not the same. I just think it makes you too easy to, so I spend a lot of time like looking at what do we do and what,
Self-scouting.
Yes, exactly. To try to not be exactly like we always have been, because I think that's a big advantage to your opponent. So we try to really be mindful of that.
They might be setting up something in the second half or to see this or whatever. So
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So as far as now big game picture, obviously Mason Flores made the kick. I feel we can't go without saying, freshman scored 3 touchdowns.
Luke Janke had a great game.
Great game.
I mean, he really did, and it was
also ran down their quarterback.
He did.
Van Fleet. I want to say it was almost a 10-yard head start he had on him.
Yeah, Luke is a really impressive kid. It was kind of and he got stopped. We didn't mention that in that first half. I think we got down. We ran a little reverse on fourth and 8, and he got tackled at about the half-yard line. We were just right on the doggone door. It kind of reminded me of that Camp Randall thing. It was like same down and distance where Haldorf got stopped just a little bit short. But tight game and situation. That one hurt not getting that in, but I thought Luke played great. He was very effective with his jet. He had good coverage, and obviously that defensive. I mean, just the timing and just triggers and he's going to catch the pitch and he's going to house that thing, and that's exactly what he did. And I knew that he was a little bit, in the game he had a couple little ailments, so I'm talking to him post game. I said, "Hey, Luke, how you doing? How you feeling?" And he said, "Well, you mentioned that, he had a little bit of a headache, but he said, the headache's gone." He said, "I got dinged a little bit in the calf." But he's got this big smile. He says, "Coach, I feel great. I feel great." And then I watched the kid take a dang sandwich and like walk away like he's dragging his leg, but he's like, "I'm great. Don't worry about me." He's a tough kid.
Was there any comment from either him or Dane? So Jeremy did make the comment about how prior to that play on 4th down, that maybe Dane and Luke kind of came together. It seemed like Luke shot a cannon, like, "Hey," Dane's like, "Hey, get up there."
Oh, you mean on the defensive score?
Not the pick six, the scoop.
The intercepted pitch or whatever that is, fumble, I suppose.
So I don't know it'd be interesting to know if maybe Dane, the senior leadership, said, "Hey,
I don't know that.
Jump this, they're going to do this. They're likely to go, this has been their bread and butter.
Yeah.
Get up there." So,
well, it had to be a great game for fans to watch. My God, I mean, it's just keep you on the edge of your seat. I know I'm okay with winning them a little more comfortably, but I'm just glad that we won. And you're gonna, the great thing is kids are gonna remember that for a long time, and we have a great chance to improve significantly. I expect that we'll make a jump after that,
and there's a decent chance that you might see that team again.
Oh, I would expect we'll play them in the playoffs at some point. I would certainly expect that. They're good. That's a good football team, and they're getting better. I mean, like you watched them on film earlier in the year. They're a different team right now, and I think they're playing with some confidence, and I thought they looked really, really dominant, really, to be honest, against Amory, and they gave us a heck of a run for it. So yeah, they got some good things going there, but I don't think, giving them all the credit, I don't think we played a very good game. I don't think that was our A game by any means. So we'll need to bring better for the rematch if that does transpire.
So you kind of talked about how you might see the same kind of option offense with Osceola. So a question about handling maybe an option.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have different defensive play calls where it might be, we'll say like it's a 3 technique, closes down, close, or it goes up, or is it always, hey, you're closing down, you're making them disconnect?
Yeah, we change things. We try to change things up, like in terms of your responsibilities. It probably gets a little bit too easy if you're doing the same thing all the time. People know what you're doing, and then they can tee off and do their thing. We just had, I think we had a combination of things. And if you look at it, there was a lot of things, little things that just kind of added up. By no means can you put it like on one position or one guy or anything like that. They ran a lot of midline and we didn't do a good enough job constricting the defensive end. Like we had sometimes when we really had a nice strike, but running them up the field, but that creates a bigger gap. And like we didn't exactly run through the insert guy. Instead, like there are a couple times we're dipping under things instead of running right through his as I told them tonight, their aorta or their spine, run through that, instead of trying to pick a side when you're the bigger, stronger kid. And, so, just the quickness of diagnosing things. We had safety fit issues. There was all kinds of different things. By no means could you put that on any one, I mean, everybody contributed.
Sometimes it's hats off, you just tip your hat to.
They made some good offensive play. They made some good plays, and we were certainly culpable for a lot of the quarterback run stuff. But they had it working, and we didn't stop it. So we know what we got to get better at. That's a good thing.
So that being said, then what do we got to look forward to? Kingfield, I think it's kind of maybe an important game. I don't know. We got, I want to say 6-0 or 5-0. 5-0 Osceola conference-wise, 5-0 Baldwin conference-wise.
It's about as big as they get, right?
Come down.
Yeah, they don't
lose it all. We've had this now, I think, at Kingfield here with.
Yeah.
So
they don't.
What are you expecting Osceola?
Well, they are a very good football team. They have a tremendous amount of speed. Okay. I think they have the guys that they run the jet with, and their guys that they play in the slot are really fast. They have speed at receiver. They have size at receiver. A lot of those kids are fast in the secondary, so they have a lot of speed there. If we look at them up front, I would say size wise they're probably pretty comparable to us. Linebacker. They have a couple good players there. They have a couple good overhang players. They're a very solid team for sure. And I think Scott Newton year in and year out is one of the best coaches that we ever face. I think he gets a lot out of his players, and I think he's got an awful lot out of this group. And undefeated, and they've had some nail biters. I mean, they had a crazy game with Amory. I'm sure you guys have heard about it. Some folks watching haven't, but they literally were behind with
less than a minute.
Yeah, I mean, and Amory's up by 7, and they have the ball on the 1-yard line going in to take a 2-touchdown lead with literally, I think it was under 2 minutes left. And on third down, they fumbled the ball. Osceola recovers it. And next thing you know, Osceola moves down the field and scores with 25 seconds left and goes for 2. And they got it. It's just it was crazy. I mean, Amory had so many ways they could have won that game. Literally, they ran out of bounds a couple times on the drive when they were going down. If they don't do that, the clock's going to run out, But
we're a yard away, essentially, of being 3 teams 4-1 in the conference.
Yeah.
Next week.
Yeah.
Because you got maybe 2/3 of the yard that they were shy of the goal line.
Yeah.
And then the third of the yard that field goal that bounces the other direction.
That's why this stuff is so exciting. And it's interesting. It really is. You never know. I mean, if you just look at the middle border last weekend, I don't know if anybody would have predicted the crazy scores, 40-38. What was it? 27-25. Does that sound right for?
I got him.
You're coming.
Oh.
He's coming with them all.
Man, you're gonna steal my thunder here.
Wow, whatever. But it was a crazy week to say the least. So, I think Osceola probably had the same kind of a feeling. I don't think they played their best game against Amory, and and I don't know if that's. I certainly didn't have the sense we were overlooking Altoona, not even a little bit. I can't speak for Osceola, but obviously it's a huge matchup, and we're very excited, for the opportunity to, it's hard to win football games. It's hard.
It's harder.
Yeah, no, that's true. Absolutely true. You got to enjoy it when you win, though. I mean, if you can't enjoy wins, then something's wrong.
Right. And that was kind of cool to see the emotion of the victory throughout the team. Again, it was a team effort. Yeah, I gave a lot of points, but they ended up getting the defensive stand at the end of the game.
Yeah.
Ultimately, they did some things, a defensive touchdown that helped win the game.
Yep.
So it's nice to see that thing. Yep. So I'm guessing you're going to know this now. I thought I stumped you one week. But my quiz for you this week was the number 10. And I was going to say 10, which is an average over 4 games of 2.5 points. And I was going to see if you knew where I was going with that.
Average of 10
to 10 total points.
10 total points.
Average over 4 games.
Over 4 games.
Would be 2.5.
Okay. And so I'm supposed to figure out who that is?
If you have anything where I'm going, if you kind of stump, I'll give you a hint. It does have to do with middle border. Last week.
Oh. Last week in the middle border. Oh, well, I mean, just the nature of how close all the games were. Yeah, that's what I was. I thought you. Yeah, I got it. Yeah, that's what separated the winners and losers. That's unbelievable. I get it now. Yeah, I knew they were all crazy close. I mean, it's just like, yeah, we win by 2, and I mean, Osceola wins by 1, and Ellsworth wins by
5.
They won by 5.
No, sorry. Prescott won by 5.
Prescott by 5, and then Ellsworth by 2, right?
2, yes.
Yeah. That's unbelievable.
But let's talk about the conference.
Yeah.
Being, again,
absolutely.
Every single week.
Yeah.
You can't look past anybody.
No, you can't.
When you think you got this,
they're
coming for you.
Yeah.
And every win is important right now, especially with the new playoff matrix.
Yeah.
Which we haven't really talked about that much. We'll get there again maybe towards the end of next week.
Yeah, it'll point itself out. There's no reason to worry about it because we just got to beat Osceola, and that's it.
So as we kind of got a little long-winded here with rightfully so, a great game. We did just have JV, I believe, came victorious tonight.
Yeah.
So real quick talk about some JV, and then maybe even we didn't get into any specific individuals that had great games last week. Any names you want to throw out there from the varsity and or JV that you think stood out?
Yeah, I thought Luke Janke really played great. You know, Mason Flores, the performance there is something that he's never going to forget the rest of his life. I thought Drew Vienendahl did some really good things throughout the game as well. I thought Dane was just he's got such heart. You know, the kid is he's really something. And he's a fantastic leader for us. Brody Everett, he's going to step up and he's going to make a big play. I thought Joe Jensen, it was not an easy night for him. I mean, he took some shots, but when the chips are down, Joe rose to the occasion. So I thought there's a lot of good stuff, from our game with Altoona. Pivoting to the JV game with Altoona, Colt Palmer was really, really impressive. I thought again at quarterback. I mean, he made a throw under duress at the end of the half. Looked like they didn't have a chance to even get it off. I don't know how he even did. Makes a great, it's probably a ball went 30, 25 yards in the air to Reggie Bignell, who jumps up and makes an unbelievable catch and then twists and drops into the end zone with 8 seconds left in the half. I mean, it was unbelievable. Our kids played really well. I also thought that Nolan Van Havermet, freshman kid, runs the jet, fast as heck. I thought we were really good up front. We were pretty consistently able to run the ball. The quarterback run game was good. But we had, our freshman kids, Tadeo Mata, and Bennett Becker. We mixed in a couple sophomores. This was their JV team. We just played freshmen, and I think we played 8 sophomores. We had a couple kids that played on the line. Creed Hinton had a nice catch. Creed's an interesting kid. I really like Creed. He moved. He started at tight end, and then we had kind of a glut at tight ends, and he wasn't getting a lot of reps, but he's really going to be a good player. So I said, hey, Creed, would you consider going to tackle? It's going to make you better down the road. We'll move you back to tight end. Well, as the game has worked out with a couple injuries and kids being hurt, we were a little short at tight end. So I said, hey, Creed, what do you think about going back to tight end? Well, I didn't have to ask him twice. And he got an opportunity on a nice throw, and he went up and caught it, and was just like inside the one. I was wishing he would have got the touchdown, but love his team attitude, and excited for Creed. That was cool. So there was a lot of really good things. I thought big Mateo Garcia looked very, very good out there. But I keep saying Colt Palmer because there's a lot of nights on the JV field. He looks like he's one of the best kids on the field. So had a heck of a year.
Good to hear.
And I really thought actually there were a couple other running backs that I thought Weston Langer looked really, really quick. Jackson Vanderberg got an injury, but man, I'll tell you, that kid's tough as heck. I just played his heart out last week. He had a couple really, really good runs too, and then he got an injury today, and I'm not 100% sure what that injury was, but a lot of kids that did well.
So Friday
28-14 was the final.
Yeah,
we won 28-14. Yep. Yeah, I didn't mention that.
Victorious tonight, Monday night, whenever we're watching this. But Friday night, Osceola's coming to town. Kingfield, 5-0 in the conference, 5-0 in the conference. A showdown for potential conference championships. I don't know why we wouldn't be there. Help this football fans, help these players out. Get there early, find a spot, stand up, cheer them on, and then tell your relatives to tune into Blackhawk TV. We want you down at the field. We want you cheering them on. Let's get a good home field advantage. Everything we can look forward to or use to our advantage will help. So let's have a nice, loud crowd, and hopefully we're back here a week from now talking about another very exciting Blackhawk victory.
Yeah, it sounds good. And, while we are really appreciative because we do have really, really good fans and we have unbelievable support, just a quick little thing, the Garage Bar had that Corvette raffle that wrapped up last Saturday, and they're making a ridiculous donation to us, which is just so appreciated, and we just feel really fortunate, and we thank you to everybody that helped out and bought a ticket, because it really will help us. It makes things better for us when we don't have to worry about hanging on to the penny so tight. If you need something, we're getting it because we need it. So that's a big thank you.
And ultimately, you do these fundraisers every year, and they go door to door knocking, and it's always like, oh, here we go again. But yet, you talk about how these kids will remember this for the rest of their life. Yep. The impact this has on kids. They're successful, they're winning, and it's just the community.
Cool. The community's awesome.
Loves it, and they do have the great support. That's why I say get there early.
Yeah,
get a spot to stand, cheer them on loud. They need it. It's gonna be a great game, great entertainment. No place I'd rather be on Friday night.
I'm looking forward to it myself.
I plan on being there. I think you'll be there. I'm going to be there, and we look forward to it. Coach, thanks again for joining us tonight, and we'll see you Friday night, King Field.
Sounds great.